Once you're gonna start, are you, what are we doing? You're standing over there?
Yep.
Are you gonna have me teach all the people about making the AI stuff? Cause I don't have my account, so I can't do nothing on on yours that I was gonna do on mine. So. I don't have access to anything.
Having technical difficulties, hold on.
If you give it to Laura, I can sign out here and sign back into my account.
You can be host. Hello. You want me to host you?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
We're trying to get stuff figured out here.
No worries.
So the way that we've been trying to get content out, it's still just producing like very little results. So what we want to do is start coaching people on how to go to the page and like we showed you the other day, Laura, just clicking on any of the social media, clicking share, putting it on your story. It just helps increase the ability uh,
Yeah,
to get traffic and noticed and stuff. So
yeah.
it's a dismal day in Arizona today with the rain.
Yeah, it's here too. It's blah. Yesterday was gorgeous.
Yeah. So we are on Thursday. It's the industrial deal day, and on the industrial deal days, we like to talk about stuff that a lot of people just don't think about making money on. So like data centers, manufacturing companies. We got a concrete company that we're looking at buying. They do really good amount of business there, and some of the ways that we have to attempt to get uh, into those real estate plays can be somewhat um, uh, scary or uh, unconventional when compared to residential. So, like in the situation of some industrial, uh, a lot of times industrial is bought and sold on square footage prices. And so when you hear the number $13 a square foot, um, and sometimes if you're talking to like industry people, they don't even include the square foot uh, name there. They're just like, oh, it's going for $13. So you hear $13, you're like, what? It doesn't make any sense because you're like, how does an industrial build? Well, it's $13 square foot times 10,000 square feet times a year times 30 years time. So like it's the number that you end up with is so big. There's, as Catherine likes to say, there's a bunch of commas in it. That they've had to reduce it down to an understandable, more equatable number in people's brains when you say $9 to $13 a square foot. So we used methods back then that made sense because when you're doing it on paper, or as I like to say, long form, we didn't have AI to help us, sort through that stuff and get all those details figured out. So um, in the long run, we did come up with what does help us do that, and that is the Deal Hunter by Landshark program. What it's been able to do is help us make real estate investing AI friendly or make AI real estate investor friendly. Either way, we've been able to grow in that in ways that have helped us put together deals, not just residential, but also expand into other markets that haven't we haven't been into before. So an example of this is, let me see, share my screen here. Uh, our real quick, I'll go through the introductions. We did get started late. We got a lot of technical difficulties with the weather, I think, uh, kind of slowing us down. But the um, um the stuff that we're doing is based on an idea that came together between myself, um, my partner Roman Rubio, and another partner of mine, Dr. Ningyan Chan. We came up with what's called the Landshark Mastermind. And the Landshark Mastermind is a group of professionals in their own industries coming together to solve a bigger problem. And one of the bigger problems we found was like an example would be affordable housing or development in the path of progress. Like if you go around and you see like where there's been like you can see a ghost town within a town, like parts of Phoenix are just dead or the slums or the hood or whatever. Those come from poor development, people that were in a hurry to develop something that eventually got to a point where it became gentrified or it lost value quickly. And it was because the developer was in a hurry to just make a quick buck, or the city officials that were in charge at the time were somehow affiliated with it and wanted to make a secret dollar. And when those things happen, you can identify those things when you go driving around different parts of town. And you can find where property lost value simply because a developer or city official did something wrong and they did something selfishly. So what we did was we came up with the Landshark Mastermind that puts groups of people together to figure out real estate deals in the path of progress that are moral and ethical and not after the big dollar of the Wall Street tycoons or the backwood or corrupt government official that's going to do a sweetheart deal for themselves and a contractor. So we got the mastermind going, and what came out of it was this here, which is the deal room. Every day we bring in deals and we analyze them using AI to help us be moral and ethical about the development we're doing, which attracted Titan Impact Group, our sponsor. They believe in leaving every person, property, and community better than they found them. So it kind of co-aligns with the Landshark Mastermind, and together we've developed some amazing AI integrations that you can put into your real estate, your real estate investing journey. So one of them is right here. It's in the ChatGPT. You're going to go to Explore, and in Explore you can find other GPTs that will help you do anything from due diligence report or demographic reports to fitness coach or any of that stuff. What we did was we developed one called Deal Hunter by Landshark, and Deal Hunter by Landshark was built to interpret data and code analysis and build things out that we need as real estate investors. So like when you're trying to get information from a title agent or a broker, Deal Hunter by Landshark is able to actually produce that information pretty quickly. So if I, for example, started a chat and I wanted to find some industrial property, I could ask it, where should I look for industrial deals around Arizona? It might tell me um, a few different cities to and submarkets to look in. So and give me the reasons why. So one of the areas we're actually doing a lot of work in right now is in this area right here called Yuma. Yuma is a border town and is going to have the second largest port, land port, which is where they bring goods across the border between Mexico and Arizona, or Mexico and the United States. Another area is down in what's called Casa Grande or Pinal County. They have large manufacturers moving down there, like the Lucid Motors manufacturer. It's a big car company that does electronic vehicles. They're actually like a Lexus version of the Teslas. So something that Deal Hunter can do is actually go and use LoopNet. It can go look at all these listing sites and bring back deals. It can even do off market searches through looking in county assessors records. It can help us go out and develop maps to drive for deals. And now with the what it's built to do with this is actually if I use Google Maps, it'll do what I call dive for dollars. And we actually have if you go to landsharkmastermind.com, you can go there and see how to get a demo on how to dive for dollars by using this. And we do these demos daily, so we can get you logged in there and signed up to do the demo. You can learn how to get in there. I did one with Laura the other night, and she was um, pretty amazed about how it all worked. So um, but the stuff that it'll do next is just kind of suggest what else it can do and ask me as the user what else it wants me to do. So, um, but real quickly, I want to just introduce everybody else that's in here. I see that Corey's in here, maybe Ning Yang. So if I could get you guys to just introduce yourselves real quick, we'll start with Corey with Black Canyon Property Solutions and then work our way around the room.
Yeah, for sure. Glad to be here. Corey with Black Canyon Property Solutions, and we're doing a lot of things, but our main focus right now is on land acquisitions and building partners with developers. And one partner we just we're working on now is a modular home manufacturer. They don't just do modular homes though; they're more on the commercial side of things. So they do multifamily. Um, they do um, like kind of larger scale stuff, apartment buildings, hotels, things of that nature. So I'm really excited about that. Um, and we're doing a lot of wholesale stuff. So that's kind of what we got going on right now.
Nice. Thanks, Corey. How about Laura? Laura's coming to us from the bright, sunny state of Washington.
The not so bright and sunny state of Washington. Yesterday was good. Morning, everyone. Yeah, as Tommy said, I live in southeastern Washington State. I am a serial entrepreneur, real estate investor. And main focus recently in that avenue is around creative financing and creating win-win-win solutions for sellers, buyers, and me, families all around, and really working to educate. There's a lot of education in it because people, are used to the traditional use a realtor, list it kind of deal. So love being a part of this podcast and learning what everybody is up to and creating.
Yeah, tell us about how the demo went the other night, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so it's I'm scratching the surface of AI and it's fascinating to see where it's infiltrating, for lack of a better word. Everywhere. In fact, I just logged on this morning to a part of a program called Function Health, which provides blood work and whatnot. And it's now all this like, let us create all this stuff. So the other day, just wanting to, from when you did Mondays, I think, or last week's, wanting to see what's available in my market, because that's part of the challenge is finding properties that fit in that creative financing realm. And a lot of times it's the best are things like owner financing or upside down. And those are a little harder to find than the standard. I mean, who I can't work with is sellers who want cash at the closing table. And that's the traditional, use a realtor, find somebody to get their own financing, which is challenging right now for a lot of people. So that um, doing that deal through Landshark, through Deal Hunter, really produced, I don't know, four or five decent leads, and then gave me the, oh yeah, well, it's really that simple. I can just ask for what I need and just keep asking for what I need, and it does the heavy lifting, which is extraordinary. So yeah, thanks for spending the time to walk me through that and gave me the little bit of confidence that I could have that conversation myself.
No, absolutely. So, let me see who else in here. Dr. Ning Yang Chan, are you in here? Sometimes he's in, sometimes he's not. Who else? I got my note taker, and then of course our illustrious co-captain Catherine Bell. Are you still in here? Are you busy on a call? Maybe busy. She's got a lot going on with the oil and gas fund. We can tell you that she's been raising capital for this oil and gas fund, and I think they are about to close this up in like 7 days or 6 days left because you got Thanksgiving in there. Almost called it Halloween. But with Thanksgiving in there, the days are coming down to an end to get in and get the 80% depreciation on that thing. And I would call that somewhat of an industrial play. It's not necessarily like a direct industrial play, but it's oil and gas. You can't get any more industrial than that. So, um, if you go to meetcatherinebell.com, go to her investments page. It's a little bit ways down past the fold. You can find the link to her investments page and go right into the oil and gas deal room and start getting your information from there right away. So, um, but back over to Deal Hunter. If Catherine or Ning Young wanna pop in when they get back, please by all means say hey. So one of the things that I did was I asked Deal Hunter here now to go in and do some deal discovery. And there's probably a vast amount of deals out there. Uh, so I'm going to tell it. One of the things that I like to do is instead of typing, I like to have a conversation with it. It actually kind of performs a little bit better. So I'm going to transcribe my voice using the dictate option. I'm going to say, uh, it seems like there's quite a few sample listings. Why don't you go ahead and provide me with um, a list of 10 properties in the uh, Phoenix submarkets? I don't care where, it just cannot be in Phoenix. I want stuff that has like addresses like Goodyear, Santan Valley, Apache Junction, um, anywhere that's not Phoenix, Casa Grande. Give me 10 listings of industrial properties. So I see that you have checked on land search, on commercial search, and on LoopNet and on Crexy. So go ahead and provide me uh, 10 that are under the $10 million range. And one of the things that this can do is go and do these searches for us. But then what it'll also do is you'll be able to identify and see that industrial dirt is expensive. That's the first thing a lot of people are like, wow, why is it so expensive? I made my limit 10 million for a specific reason. And it's because dirt is just expensive, like especially when it's industrial. Um, and the reason is because that's what is called an entitlement. So the entitlement of industrial is hard to get. It costs money to get it. And so an example is these buildings here all or these listings here look like they all have buildings on them except for this one down here in Casa Grande. It doesn't have a price. We're going to open the link just to go see it. I don't know why it bounced over there. Can't get to it. Get over here. So try to find this industrial property it was talking about. We can go right here, take it off of that and put it on industrial. Accept. Oh gosh. Apply. So it looks like leases, nothing it gives space available, but it says contact for pricing. So we're not able to pull any pricing from there. But never fear, because what we can do is go back into Deal Hunter and I can say, I want listings. Actually, got to get in the habit of doing the talk part. This looks great. I would like to pull another 5 properties, but this time I want them to be just vacant land, industrial land, zoned already industrial. Bring back the information on it for me to review, and then we can deep dive something I like. So one of the reasons why I'm talking about industrial land is because again, it does carry a higher price point, but it's literally something you can build equity into if you buy it on the right side. So what I'm referring to is like, for example, that 4310 South Bullard Avenue, that was 5 acres and it's 5 acres of industrial land selling for $3 million, almost $4 million. The reason why it's so high is because it's got that industrial zoning. It's 5 acres. It's not like 500 acres, etc. So it's perfect size for a shovel-ready project. This one right here is a prime example of something that might be actually what we would call industrial ready. It says heavy industrial friendly zoned land, meaning it's not quite zoned industrial yet. It's friendly to it, meaning the county's able to do it or interested in doing it, but a developer has to come in and actually do it. So right there's a prime example of how the price change is. If you look at what it costs per square foot to buy the 50 acres, it's under $1. It's literally under $1 a square foot. But if you go and price the property in Goodyear at a square footage price, you'll find that it's significantly different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it right here. Give me a per square foot price on these properties and redo this list again. It looks great, but just add the per square foot price to the property. And so the other one down there in Casa Grande, it's 1.5 million. It says again, development friendly, but it already has the zoning. So if it already has the zoning, it means that it's entitled. If it's entitled, then you can raise the price and you can go up to as high as like some places go 12 foot, 16 foot, etc. So right there, $16 a square foot. That's standard price. I'm buying it at 34 cents a square foot. Now there's your margin, right? So that's a hell of a margin right there. Place like down here in Santan Valley, I'm getting it for $6 a square foot. Now, if I need industrial zoning, and it doesn't matter where I'm at because I just need the zoning to perform the manufacturing that I'm performing, and I don't need access to a highway, I don't need a high amount of power. I just need that zoning, then I can go somewhere that's $6 a square foot. But if I have to be near the highway, near the other manufacturers, I need to be near a logistics hub. This is why this price goes up to that high, because that zoning in that particular area is highly sought after. It's like gold. And so um, getting the team together to put that together, it's an entitlement team. And that's what my company's been doing for years. We just do entitlements, zoning, getting everything ready, and then turning it over to a vertical developer that makes it go up in the sky and creates the buildings. So Corey's got some property up in Prescott that's going multifamily. That has entitlement on it, doesn't it, Corey? Corey? Corey's probably working. He's we've been working with him on doing um a bunch of different projects when it comes to doing the land. He's been really good about getting details out and back. So we've been doing all kinds of back and forth. Uh, I got a phone call coming in. Um, the I'll have to call them back. The land deals that we're looking at here, Corey can actually get those numbers for us and do what's called skip tracing on them. But most of the time, these industrial buildings are held with a commercial broker, much like Dr. Ning Young Chen. Uh, our partner, Dr. Ning Young Chen, is has been doing commercial brokerage for a little over a year now, I believe. Has a lot of good things going on, um, and has been moving into private money brokering. It's been increasingly getting better because of the fact that the Fed is not dropping the rate as fast as as they should. So private money is becoming a bigger thing. Got quite a few people that are moving into private money lending because they're not making enough money in the banks. So if you want to make money in real estate without actually having to go through uh, hammers and hard hats or toilets and tenants or any of that stuff, you can actually just do lending directly into real estate deals and make money that way. So in the industrial world, though, back over here, some of the details that this provided was like, for example, we'll go look at this deal in Casa Grande. Um, do a copy right there. Run this deal. Get the listing info. All right, I'm going to run that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on talk so that we can actually hear it going through everything. And the cool part about this is an example of what happens when you're driving. You can actually talk to it and get it to do this.
Good call. Here's the detailed listing information for the property at ENEC Russell and Marsh Road, 50.94 Sac in Casa Grande, AZ. We flagged. I pulled as much public info as I can. We will still need to verify zoning, utilities, and title for due diligence. Listing some address.
Didn't work.
AZ 55993. Net lot size 50.9494 acres. LoopNet asking price $755,000. LoopNet price per acre. $15,007 as listed. LoopNet description. Located in Casa Grande, just south of Interstate 8. Located east of the northeast corner of Marsh Road and Russell Road. Approximately 51 acres with irrigation rights and shared well. LoopNet key highlights. Large-scale land parcel, 51 acres. Good size for industrial/logistics development or a multi-tenant warehouse campus. Proximity to key infrastructure, just south of Interstate 8 per flyer. LoopNet comes with irrigation rights and a shared well. That's unusual for industrial land and indicates some utility infrastructure readiness. LoopNet, relatively low price per acre, $15K for industrial land, could be a value play if everything checks out. Items to validate, Shark checklist. 1. Zoning and permitted uses. The listing does not explicitly state industrial zoning, I-1, I-2, M-1 in the public summary. We need to verify with Pinal County and or the city of Casa Grande whether the parcel is zoned industrial or if rezoning will be required. 2. Access and frontage. Check actual road access to Marsh RD and Russell RD, frontage width, and whether there are easements or encumbrances. 3. Utility availability. While irrigation rights and a shared well are noted, we should confirm availability of industrial level power, e.g. heavy SO equipment voltage, sewer, or whether septic is required, and fiber internet. 4. Topography and site readiness. Large acreage can hide site prep costs, grading, fill, drainage. Need to get terrain map, floodplain status, and environmental status. 5. Rail and logistics access. For industrial land, proximity to interstate, I-8 is good. We also want to check distance to rail spurs, if any, and major logistics hubs, e.g. nearby distribution centers. 6. Title encumbrances. Are there irrigation rights that come with conditions? Are there shared well agreements that could put obligations on future owner? 7. Exit strategy viability. What kind of tenants or developments will the land support? Does the submarket, Casa Grande, have demand for industrial logistics? Answer, yes. Major employers in logistics are active in region. Next steps I recommend. I can pull the full broker flyer PDF for this listing, which apparently exists per the listing page, so you get all attachments, maps, utilities, and seller disclosures. I can run a parcel data search, Pinal County Recorder Assessor, for the parcel number to get current zoning, parcel legal description, last sale, taxes, etc. I can draft an initial LOI, letter of intent, or term sheet for this land with you as buyer, so you're ready to move quickly if you decide to proceed. I can grade this deal versus peers, price per acre versus local comps, access, infrastructure, and risk, so you see how it stacks up. Would you like me to grab the broker flyer plus parcel data for this one, and then we can evaluate whether to proceed further?
As that's a good breakdown of this property. And What's funny is now that I pull this report up, I can tell this is something I'm kind of intimate with or already is the fact that this podium club right here is somewhere that we've worked with looking for their water rights. They do not have water rights on this property. So now learning that just it looks probably like maybe maybe a mile and a half down the road is this property. I could literally see myself doing a water treatment facility right there and supplying Podium Club with all that water and all that waste treatment. Podium Club is basically where the ultra elite and fancy car drivers get to go and drive their fancy cars as fast as they want and pretend they're race car drivers. So pretty interesting that it's just down the road from there. I'm wondering if yeah, it says 4 miles to the east, so 4 miles away. It takes some effort to get down there, but I could see it happening. As long as I don't have to cross any of that, this area right here is known as the reservation, so you can't cross the reservation. There's a commuter rail. That's bogus. Um, I do believe that there's a rail line that runs near here somewhere, but unless it's like right next to it, you're never going to get the rail line to drop a spike or a spur is what it's called, down into that area. So it's looking for the full, there it is, the flyers right here, 4-pager. And I'll show you a cool trick that this thing has. If I can figure out how to download it. I think it's that one right there. We'll download it and then I can jump right over back into Deal Hunter and load it into Deal Hunter back down here where it says upload file. Yep. Downloads. Open, send it. There we go. Do. There we go. I'll send that in and it'll automatically start reviewing it. Phone is blowing up today. I have to call that person back. All right. And that's actually an industrial deal that I'm going to be calling that guy on. So here's what it come back with. It did the property overview for me. It put in industrial use potential. So it's in a growth corridor. So it says, logistics, warehouse, light industrial campus, whatever. If it has power, that's great because we can probably increase the power, which would be even better. It wants us to do a zoning verification, infrastructure inquiry. So like electrical capacity. Can we get the three-phase? Three-phase is industrial electricity. If we can get that, this is a great location for a large scale industrial development like a data center. If we can get the power to it and it's got water on it, that's a great data center location. So it says that we can pull the zoning on it. So let's do that. We got like 15 minutes left to run this deal. Pull the zoning and land use entitlements for this one. And then um, let's take a look at what the options are based on our uh, checklist of needs when it comes to data center property. Let's see what it meets and what it doesn't meet. So, and I think this is the one that was industrial friendly. Remember that. So by it being industrial friendly, what we would do is we would know that it does not have the I2 industrial, M1 industrial. It does not have it, but it would need to be publicly posted for that zoning designation. We'd have to get a county approval. It takes about 6 months to do that. So taking that into consideration because you got hold costs. If you buy that property, you're going to have to hold it, pay a note and stuff like that on it until it becomes industrial. That could be an expensive situation. So it's giving me the checklist: power, zoning, and fiber are all unknown, that literally drops it off our list as data center opportunity. Just eliminates it. When we find out these answers and we get those answers, then it can go back on the list if it meets those standards. So what I just did there was eliminated a lot of legwork on something that would have been basically a pipe dream anyway. So it could have taken me easily at least 2 or 3 days to find out the answers I need on this to make sure I didn't send this off to my data center people prematurely. So now I did all I need to know, and I use a checklist that's already in my system about data center properties, and it knows if these three don't exist, it ain't worth doing. So we just skip over it. But let's just pretend we didn't skip over it. Let's say we want to do this property, but we notice that it doesn't have the zoning, it doesn't have electric. We want to bring that value to the property. Can you give us a scenario that would help us work with this landowner on getting those specifications so that we could increase the value of this property, make it M1, and get it ready for data center development, shovel-ready projects? And so what we might do is do an extended closing, do what's called a purchase option. We find out that he wants $785,000. We say, okay, we're going to exercise that option to purchase it in 3 years. So here's the contract. We're good for the money, and we're going to do all this work to it. And then in 3 years, we'll pay you the $785,000. So we're increasing the value of it and all that, and we'll see if he goes for it. But that's how that would work. So structure it for 12 to 18 months. Option to purchase. I did not tell it that. You seen me not talk it in there. It literally suggested it to me because again, it was built with the brain that I operate with, and it pulled the first thing it pulled up was with a options contract. On an options contract, we're able to do the zoning, the utilities, and everything without us ever taking control of the property. And then we're able to pay, after all that's done, we're able to pay the price we agreed to back in the day, and not have to pay what it's worth in the future. Which means then when it's ready and it has been upzoned, we can sell it for like a 58. You've seen what 5 acres was going for. It was going for $3 million. So if I break this thing up into 5 10-acre pieces, it's 50 acres. I can break it into 5 10-acre pieces and sell 10-acre industrial property for $3 million a piece. And then what I could do is I could literally take 10% off of each one and do owner financing for these people. And I'm just taking 300,000 off of 5 properties. That's still 1.5 million in cash. So if I did owner financing for all those industrial lots, and they can have industrial lots for 10%, I'm going to get 1.5 million, pay off my $765,000 purchase price, put some of that money in my bank account to sit there and be a nice little nest egg for land maintenance. And all they did was buy dirt. They didn't buy a building. And so I give them a timeline. You have to have a building up on it in 5 years, or you forfeit your deal. We let them go no payments for 5 years. And then after 5 years, they have to start making payments. And those payments are going to be somewhere around, I'm gonna be fair and say close to $15,000 a month, maybe even $20,000 a month on 5 properties. That's very easily $100,000 a month cash flowing property, right? Just for dirt. We're not doing tenants, we're not doing toilets, we're not doing hammers and hard hats. We're literally just mortgaging them the dirt to do what they want. And it comes back to us at 100 grand a month net. So that's how you do an industrial deal. You find something like this, you get the owner to agree to that options contract, and then you split it and get the zoning on it and move it down the road. Your holding costs on it are what's going to eat you alive. Because if you got to pay a mortgage to this guy while you're getting the work done down at the county, and by the way, watch this. It's how much it's going to cost to do all this work. I built this into it to show us what it's going to cost. Post zoning and utility will go up to $3 a square foot. So like I said, the whole property is like $3 million to $6 million. So if we owner finance that to people, So what I'm looking at doing is getting the whole property zoned. It says it's got a well on it, so we would end up creating a water district for the industrial development, and we're going to split the property 5 ways and get it to where there's like 9 acre parcels with infrastructure, about 1 acre of infrastructure and easements written into the plot survey. But we're looking to sell these as 10 acre industrial lots ready. So go ahead and price this at the $6 a square foot for the 10 acre lots. What we want to do is we want to come up with a buying option for these buyers to where it's going to be financing included. They'll bring us 10% to 20% on the loan of the price, and then we'll write a note for them for 30 years on the industrial dirt. If they put a building up on it, then they have to get it reappraised after the building is installed and pay off that dirt loan to us. But we'll take a 30-year note with them with a 5-year holding period on their interest, and defer all their interest until the 60th month, at which all will become due in a balloon payment, and then they will go into a monthly payment. Um, they'll need to have a building constructed within that 5-year period or after that 5-year period, but they can basically land bank for 5 years if they wish. If they sell prior to, they have to sell it above $7 a square foot in order for us to allow the sale and release the note. Come up with this plan and give me the breakdown of what that looks like mathematically, as well as including the soft costs to do the split, the entitlements, and the easements. That's a pretty long prompt. So, and I believe it's operating in the legacy version. So legacy version means it's in like 4.0. I don't know. I always leave it in auto, so that way it determines and decides for itself what it wants to do. So while this is thinking and cooking, make sure you to go visit the YouTube channel, YouTube at TIG20B, to get all of the most recent podcasts that we've done. We have been loading up new episodes into the channel, so a lot of great content ending up in there. So what we got here is that shows us now that if you take the 10 acres and make them M1 parcels, sell them at $6 a square foot, including the 5-year deferred interest seller financing structure. So it built all this out for me. I can make it create a contract for me on this as well. But total land is 50.94, which are 10-acre parcels with 1-acre lot reserved for easements and infrastructure, which means that we can sell 392,000 square foot at $6 per square foot. That makes each lot $2.3 million with a total projected revenue of 11.7. The down payment we would take is 352,000 and then finance them approximately $2 million at 7%. The deferred interest period of 60 months after that 5 years is another 700,000 that they would have to pay in a balloon. And at month 60, that would basically set them up to have to pay us $2.7 million on that property. So no payments, but at year 5, they have to pay that balance. If the buyer keeps the land, they begin making payments at the 25 amortization, which is about 20 grand a month. So what they would do then is just pay us the 700,000 and go over to paying 20 grand a month. Paying us 20 grand a month times 5 again is that 100,000, like I told you, and then that turns into $1 million growth net revenue every year on that property. Just making $1 million doing nothing, cooking dirt. So you could probably sell that note, and I'll show you how that gets done here in just a minute. But the development costs are going to be probably somewhere around 100 grand. So that's your holding costs. Getting it done over 12 to 18 months. We're going to have to pay the lease and stuff like that out there. So we would probably end up with a total all in of about 250,000 to then get back 350,000 each lot after we're done. So if we put in 250,000, we're going to get back cash payments of 350,000 times 5, basically. So a lot of these companies that would need the industrial space, they have that cash availability, that down payment availability relatively often. So some of these blue collar contractors, they get 350, $400,000 a month and just that they have to burn because that's how much they made off of jobs that month. I know this because that's what happened to me many times. I'd have to just find a place to burn the cash because I didn't want to pay the taxes. So doing deals like this is where I learned to do it. So capturing a high per square foot premium. I don't think is selling it at $7 a square foot or $6 a square foot is a high premium at all. But it shows that it will draft the installment sale note. It'll make lot sale marketing sheets for me for pre-sale outreach, pro forma summary. It'll give me quite a bit of stuff. So this is all great information. One last thing I'm going to do. All this information looks great. Go ahead and give me a breakdown of what it would look like as an investor if I had to cover the soft costs and have the purchase option with a 10% down on the 765,000, so that I could start marketing this and pre-selling this to industrial land users. And once I start doing that, I can start taking option contracts from them with deposits put in escrow. So go ahead and give me the cash on cash return for year one. And then show me if I sold the notes, if I was able to achieve all 5 notes, show me what it would look like if I sold it at an 8%, 10%, 12% yield, and what then my cash on cash return would be and what the total ROI would be. So again, making it think like a banker, because I just know what I want for my money. I just don't know how to calculate that on paper anymore. Like I never really went to business school to learn that stuff. So I have to rely on and utilize the ability to do this comes from uh, the AI that was built into it. It snap learns faster every time you give it information. It's not like a human being where you give it information and it can forget that. That's what's called snap learning. Like you know that when you see a green light, that's snap learning. That means go. If you see a red light, that's snap learning. It means stop. Um, uh, AI has snap learning where it's always going back to the last thing it learned and then growing from there. It's never going to forget and retrograde and then have to come back up. So our initial is going to be around 170, and then down payments from buyers is literally 10x. So that's how you 10x your money. That you hear Grant Cardone talking about 10x and stuff. Come pay me $500,000. I'll tell you how to 10x your money. Well, it sounds like if I did that, I would basically 10x Grant Cardone's money, and then he'd be like, "See, that's how I do it. You just got to get somebody to pay you 500K." So old Uncle Grant, he's a genius. So basically, I'm actually getting 100x based on the numbers right here, but if I do the initial soft costs and then I come in with my down payment of I forget what it was up there, $350,000 each, and did that 5 times, like that's where we're going to be at. So and then with our notes, what I did was I created a bucket full of notes. The total for the notes over the time period, okay, value per note is 2 million to 1.9 million. Based on how much time they're going to have to pay over that 25 years. So if each one financed 2 million with the 5-year deferral to 25-year amortization, I could sell those notes on a secondary market and get these dollar amounts, total cash with down payments. I would basically get between 11 and 15 million dollars, which then gives me this ridiculous ROI that nobody's ever heard of. So basically, if I did it at the highest amount of discount rate if the yield was 12%, I'd basically get around 66x my initial investment. So I'm actually, when we get off this call, going to go back and call the owner of this property, or at least the broker of this property, because again, if those are the types of returns we can get, there's no harm in trying to catch that big fish with, with a little fishing pole. You just got to have patience and tolerance and try to get through it any way you possibly can. So knowing that we can, let me see, where did it go? I think I got it right here. There we go. I can go ahead and give Rami or Lindsay a call and see where that would go, because it's got potential. It's very close to I-8, and it looks like it's off in the distance there. So just giving it to people that need the industrial space, it could be perfect for that. So anyway, it is 10 o'clock. We ran over. We started late, so we ran over. We appreciate everyone coming in. And so I'm hoping everyone has a great, wonderful day. And we're able to see everybody again really, really soon. Like tomorrow when we do the Opportunity Zone. We got big news on the Opportunity Zone thing. So come back and check it out tomorrow. I hope everyone has a great day. And we'll see everybody again later. Oh, quick prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the blessing of this day and the blessing of the life that you put in front of us to live. We ask that you continue to bless and guide us. Amen. All right, everyone, have a great day.